I'd like to welcome you to today's COCA Call, Multi-Drug Resistant Candida auris. Today's first presenter is Dr. Tom Chiller. Dr. Chiller is an infectious disease physician who has specialized in fungal diseases for the past 20 years.
As you know, this has emerged both globally and now in the U.S., and I think many of you or some of you might have seen some recent press on this in the New York Times. This was an article that was written in April and highlighted some of the issues and concerns that we have with Candida auris. So the first case was reported in the literature in Japan back in 2009, and subsequently we've seen spread or at least emergence and identification in many parts of the world. In the United States, we put out an alert in 2016 and of course have now identified it here as well. So why do we care about this weird fungus? Well, first of all, it's highly drug resistant. Second of all, patients can become colonized and develop invasive infections or bloodstream infections with this organism. And finally, it spreads, unlike any other candida that we know, in healthcare settings. This is a yeast that acts like a bacteria. Resistance is the norm. It thrives on skin. It readily contaminates patient rooms and healthcare equipment. And because of that, it actually spreads in these healthcare facilities. As I mentioned, it is now a global issue. You can see here on this map, we now have identified it in at least 30 countries, and obviously we haven't looked everywhere for it as well, so I imagine it's in more than this.
On the show today, we talk about a dangerous and deadly fungal infection, Candida auris. The deadly fungus is now infecting patients in hospitals and nursing homes around the world. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, nearly half of the patients who contract Candida auris die within 90 days. Yet, scientists haven't been able to nail down where the fungus came from in the first place. Candida auris is a mysterious and dangerous fungal infection that is reportedly spreading rapidly. If it gets into the bloodstream, the fungus can cause life-threatening infections. What is the fungal infection and how is it posing a threat to the world? Let's understand in this report.
The fungal infection Candida auris has spread all over the world, raising alarm in the medical community. It has been responsible for a number of deaths around the globe. What's alarming is that the fungus remains active and continues to multiply even after it has killed someone. Last year in May, an elderly man was admitted to Brooklyn's Mount Sinai Hospital for abdominal surgery, and blood tests revealed he was infected with a mysterious germ. He was quickly confined to an intensive care unit. 90 days later, he died. But the fungus, Candida auris, which was present in his body, did not. Tests showed it was everywhere in his room. Special cleaning equipment had to be used, and some of the ceiling and floor tiles had to be ripped out to eradicate the fungus. According to a report in the New York Times, the walls, the bed, the doors, the curtains, the phones, the sink, the whiteboard, the poles, the pump, everything in the hospital room where the elderly man died tested positive of Candida auris. The fungus has now spread through at least 15 countries with deadly consequences. Over the last 5 years, it has hit a neonatal unit in Venezuela, swept through a hospital in Spain, forced a prestigious British medical center to shut down its intensive care unit, and taken root in India, Pakistan and South Africa. According to a Forbes report, Candida auris can remain on people's skin and objects like hospital furniture and equipment for a long time. It can even spread indirectly from patient to patient. It can invade the human body and kill if the immune system is weakened. It can be resistant to the 3 major classes of antifungal drugs, leaving doctors with few options to treat Candida auris infections.
There is growing worry tonight about a new strain of superbug spreading through hospitals in New York and across the country. It's deathly dangerous and tough to fight, but trying to avoid becoming infected is proving just as difficult.
Well, Diana, it's not a threat to the general public, but to hospital patients and residents in nursing homes. Candida auris can be lethal. New York City is ground zero for the fungus, but health officials are keeping the public in the dark about which facilities are battling this superbug. In hospitals and nursing homes throughout New York City and its suburbs, a deadly drug-resistant fungus is spreading, threatening the lives of those with weakened immune systems.
It's a very serious health threat because it's a superbug, meaning resistant to all known antibiotics.
And that makes the superbug known as Candida auris lethal for those patients with existing medical problems, according to Dr. Erwin Redlener.
Hi, I'm Lindsay Smith Rogers, producer of Public Health on Call. Today, our topic is an infectious disease other than COVID. It's called Candida auris, a type of yeast that is causing a wave of serious hospital-acquired infections across the country.
Dr. Palmore, thank you so much for coming on to Public Health on Call to talk about an infectious disease story that is not the pandemic that's hiding behind some of those headlines.